Hey guys, it's Uncle Stitch. We're back with another knife sharpening video. Yesterday we put an insane fucking edge. This thing fucking just slips right in. This is the sharpest I have ever gotten a knife, and I did that with hand sharpening. So today I kind of a ferrum forge fanatic. I love the way these look. They're very, very pretty blades to me. Two of these are in mint condition and have never been sharpened. This is one of them. This is another one. This is the design on the front here is what they refer to as the mothership. Oh no, this is the used one. You can tell by the scratches all over the back. Those are scratches, those don't wipe off. And this will be the one that we're sharpening today. And I really want to put a sick fucking edge on this. This is not dull, but it's nowhere near as sharp as my Spyderco that we did last night. This is the other one. I gotta wipe it off. This is the other one that I have that's in mint condition, never been sharpened. It's very pretty. Very pretty knife. So anyway, this one, honestly, we could probably start with 600. Because the apex has already been established. And I don't feel like we need to reprofile anything. So going down to 320 doesn't really seem like the right thing to do. Put this on top there. I did order a 10,000 grit and a 60,000 grit whetstone so that I can put mirror images on knives. Jumping from 10,000 grit to 60,000, I don't know precisely how well that's going to work out. Because that is a very large jump. But the higher the grit, basically what you're doing is you're just making the scratches smaller, and the smaller you make them, the more of a mirror image you get on your bevel. Me and my buddy were talking to a guy we go get chemicals from for auto detail. We only do our own stuff anymore. The joy of detailing has kind of been sucked away from us. We were robbed of that, unfortunately. And the guy that was in the store today worked at some of the dealerships that we used to service, and so we kind of went over the insaneness of having to work for a company like those. And it's really nice to meet somebody that wasn't in our friends group that had his own experiences with working with those companies. But one of the things that we were talking about was, you know, back in the day, detailing cars was very therapeutic to us. To, you know, just spend time outside and, spend a lot of time making something look beautiful. And we don't really have very many things in our life that compare to that. And I think sharpening is my new therapeutic ordeal now. It's I understand why people that sharpen with stones just never understand why somebody would go out and buy a device that kind of takes the fun out of hand sharpening. And now I see that end of the spectrum. Because, last night I really got a good idea of what it takes to hand sharpen these things, and it's not as difficult as it looks. It's really not. But yeah, oh yes, this is biting very well. You don't really know until you've taken the burr off with the strap, which I thought I was supposed to get emulsifiers today. It doesn't look like it's not going to come until probably Monday. But I'm starting to get the idea of what I'm doing here, and it's not anywhere near as complicated as it looks. Hand sharpening. I haven't scratched the blade up at all. I mean, those scratches were already there. I showed you that before I started, but it's nowhere near as intimidating as I thought it was going to be. Or I made it out to be, at least. And keeping the same angle. Once you get down a pattern, you don't really lose that angle. I'm playing around with the tablecloth and the back lighting, because the stuff that I have to use to that is obnoxious. This stuff that I have to advertise for D&K is basically a white business card, and the problem you guys can see in my review of the Combat Trudon is I was trying to edit the lighting, and it blots out the white card, and so I think I need a darker background so that when I'm doing editing from the lighting, that it doesn't blot out the white card. It's kind of difficult for me to do that, but we're kind of playing around with things with lighting and trying to figure out, ideally what I want, and I explained to Donnie, was that I wanted the lighting to run down the bevel of the knife as it was being displayed. And unfortunately, there's no speed control and there's no controlling the display that I have. So I'll probably, because my display levitates using magnets, and it's very cool, but I think I'm gonna end up having to buy one of the cheaper displays that's more consistent. And really want to show off the bevel, because that really has a pretty look to it. And I'm not entirely sure what it is that I'm planning on doing with the reviews, because I think what I need to do, what I did in the past, was actually go out and make videos of using the thing so that people get an idea of, you know, what these things are going through, and when I'm talking about them, they kind of get an idea where my eyes are on the knife. I feel like I could just sit here and do this for hours. But yeah, when I get that 10,000 grit stone in, that's probably enough to put a mirror image on by itself, but 60,000, that is just insane. Having a 60,000 grit stone. I am very impressed with these stones. They did a fantastic job on my Spyderco. And I probably don't need to spend so much time on each stone that I'm spending. But I'm just kind of watching consistency to make sure that line is nice and even. Oh, yes. That is obnoxious. That's so fucking thin you can't even see it. Amazing. Can't imagine what that's gonna do to paper. Spend a little time on 1500, go to 2000, then 3000, and then we'll do a shave. Really, I thought that you'd be able to get a mirror image on 1000, and that might be achievable with incredible consistency. But the type of mirror image that I'm talking about, I believe it was Joey Bellata that sent me a knife, and he asked, I bought a knife off of him, and he asked me if I wanted him to sharpen it. And I asked if he was any good at it, and he was like, oh yeah, dude, I'm amazing at sharpening. I was like, yeah, okay, sure, sharpen. And I could see my reflection in the bevel crystal clear. Crystal clear, like a mirror image. And that's exactly what I want. I want to be able to replicate that and do those things. And these are close to having a mirror image on them. Very close to having a mirror image on them, but they just don't shine the way Joey Bellata had done it. And I've seen other knife makers do that too. And, you know, it really seems like those types of things are a brag. That is a talent to develop a skill like that, to be able to do that with hand sharpening. And I don't think I'm far away from developing that skill myself. I just need higher grit stone. Stropping is a very, very important thing too. You can ruin an edge with stropping if you do it wrong. And I'm not entirely sure which side of that strop I should be using, because one side is super soft and that super softness seems like it would grip pretty well. And then there's one side of it that's more sandpapery-ish. Those ferrum forged knives are very, very pretty. Titanium handles. I think the steel's S35 VN, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it says 35 VN. It's crazy I remember that. Hoping these stones last a long time. Just because they're diamond stones don't mean they last forever. Yeah, that looks obnoxious. See that in the light. A little bit of dust on there. Yeah. That is obnoxious. Let's move on to 2000. I'm going to put the 6000 grit stone behind the 2000. Oh, I actually have 320 there. I'll help keep it in place as I'm moving it back and forth. But yeah, I ideally 2,000 and 3,000 should be able to put a mirror image on a bevel. I would have thought. I've seen other people achieve mirror images and not go up that. Pretty much caught that right away, unfortunately. It took me fucking forever to, it's fucking crazy. Like, I hated how I bought this iPhone outright. I paid like $1,200 or something for it. And they need you to continue buying phones every couple of years. So they ruin the fucking memory on your phone with garbage. All these fucking updates and shit. It's fucking annoying. Yeah, I forget what we were talking about, but very, very nice edge on that. See if I can clean that up a little bit. Yeah, this Ferrum Forge. It's one of my favorite EDC knives. Just love the way it looks. It's a shame what happened to that company. They split off essentially, and now they have things that look kind of similar. It's kind of hard to get this thing on the Picasso section right here. Probably using the wrong terminology for that. But it's pretty much as long as the thing just sinks into fucking paper, I don't really care. But this is why we're doing other knives than the AGA Camplin. That is the reason. Because if I destroy a heavily EDC knife, or heavily EDC'd knife, I'm gonna be a lot less sad than if I destroyed an AGA Camplin. Now 2,000 and 3,000, those are mainly for polishing. I guess last night I was kind of more hoping for like a mirror image. And, you know, you don't always get a mirror image, but, you know, 440C just ever so slightly, barely got a different angle there. Barely. As long as this motherfucker cuts. That's what we're looking for. That's 2,000. Put the 320 grid up here. I'll go to 3,000. Hopefully my 60,000 grit stone will be here either today or tomorrow. So I can go ahead and soak it in water for 24 hours and then come back and put a mirror image on these two blades. I don't think you have to go up that high to get a mirror image, but unfortunately, no matter how much time I spend on these, I don't seem to acquire that mirror image. At 3,000, you are taking off material, but it's such a minute amount of material that you're taking off that these should just be for polishing. And I may be wrong. You might have to go up to 10,000 grit, which is crazy. That's smooth as silk as it is. And then 60,000, I can, I guess we'll find out. Yeah, that has a little different angle there at the back, but it's obnoxious. Shouldn't have to spend a whole shit ton of time on polishing stones either. They should make things very, very even very quickly. Feeling a little bit of drag at the tip. Just ever so slightly. This tells me I may not have spent enough time on that tip. But it's uniform. What we'll go to stropping, and then I kind of want to use the soft side. I don't know if I'm supposed to use the rough side. In case the strop is not designed to necessarily remove material other than the burr. Just right away take that bevel off, or the burrs off of the apex of the bevel. This is silky smooth. But yeah, I would have thought that 3000 grit would have given me a mirror image. Or it could be. Could very, very well be that you're supposed to use this side and then flip it over. So that's what we'll do. definitely don't want to put too much pressure when you're stropping, because the material of the strop, the blade, the bevel can sink into the strop, and that can roll your edge over. So you have to kind of play around with it and figure out the right amount of tension to use. But you will also see things in your strop, like if you're getting to the point where your tip hits it and it's leaving a scratch mark, then you know you need to go back and fix some things. So strop can really tell you a lot. Oh yeah, I just instantly took a shit ton of metal off. But yeah, the main purpose is to get all those burrs off of there, because burrs will dull your knife quicker than anything if you don't get them off of there. There's more resistance pulling this way than there is going that way. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip this around so that we can get the same resistance. Yeah, because that has more of a grab to it. And I'm probably supposed to be using a emulsifier, which I don't have. She is extremely even though, on that side. Extremely even. And it's just that back part. It's pretty much the same both ways. So we'll just kind of probably. I don't know. We'll just see. We'll see if this makes a difference. I did order a strop from Crane. It was supposed to be here Friday. I'm not upset. They have a war going on over there. You know, the fact that I'd get it at all is, you know, but I like to see Ukraine's quality. Kind of judge that for myself. Can't imagine what it's like living over there now. Seems like all they're really doing is, you know, lobbing munitions at them, and they're lobbing munitions back, and this doesn't. It's hard to win a war in defense, that's for sure. I would have thought, you know, over the course of, I don't know if it's been going 3 or 4 years or whatever, somebody would have realized that it's important to gain territory and maintain that territory, because I don't know too many wars that have been won by defense. Yeah, that did come out shinier. I guess you can use both sides. I mean, it's not mirror image, but it definitely came out shinier. That's for damn sure. This is butter smooth. Absolutely butter smooth. Yeah, the leather products that we get here in America are fucking trash. They're nowhere near as good as what they used to be. Leather belts, leather jackets, they're nowhere near the quality that they were when they were in the 80s and so on and so forth. Even the upholstery in the cars, you know, leather is just not what it used to be, for sure. Well, if I didn't just roll the edge on that little mistake that happened over there. But this 35VN's pretty freaking strong. So anyway, what we'll do is we'll go grab a piece of paper and do a cut test real quick. That just saying, I have no idea. It's pretty much like butter though. I mean, it's by no means is this knife dull. That's for damn sure. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how they use very, very impressive things where the thing pretty much just holds itself up and they cut it. Well, when I get my 60,000 grit stone, we'll revisit that and see if we can come up with a better solution. But anyway, all right, guys. So these two knives are just gonna chill here until we get that 60,000 grit stone. This thing is obnoxious as well. I mean, no effort at all. So we'll get that 60,000 grit stone and put a mirror image on these things and we'll revisit that cutting test. Peace.